Here's a simple exercise that can support you in finding an immediate sense of relief and safety. The locus of control. It works great when you're experiencing anxiety and worry. What is worry at the end of the day? Worry is literally you thinking about the same situation or thing over and over again and trying to find new solution, different solution, other solution, unseen solution, create new solution. And as you do so, your thoughts go in all direction. You stay in hyperactive mode until literally perhaps your body will go in hyperactivity once again, draining down and demotivated, and then you start again in hyperactivity. The thinking goes on and then it goes down again. So what it does at the end of the day, worry, it literally weighs on the nervous system, it weighs on you physically, chemically inside, and emotionally. So the locus of control supports you in becoming aware of what is within your area of control and what is outside of your control. And once you have this awareness, you can actually use your energy now to intentionally focus yourself and your resources within your area of control. This exercise can be run for any situation. It can be run for something you're experiencing with your partner, your colleague, at work, with your siblings, with your family members, with your friend. I'm going to use the context of COVID-19 for this exercise as I walk us through this exercise. And the beauty of this exercise is, instead of asking you as always to sit back and reflect and observe, it's actually asking you to have an active participation, like an active engagement. And once you go into active engagement and you write it down, so we will be using a piece of paper and pen. Once you go actively engage and you write it down, your brain follows. Your brain sees something different. Your brain starts becoming aware of, this is what is within my control and this is what is not within my control, so what do I do now? So once your brain follows through, and that's the beauty of the brain, having it on a piece of paper, it follows through. And once your brain follows through, you will see actually your entire system, your body, your neurology follows through, and then there's this sense of safety and relief. So we will use a piece of paper and pen. So let's get started and give it a try, and let's see what comes up for you at the end of this exercise. So we'll begin by drawing two intersecting circles on a piece of paper. So once you've got these two intersecting circles, on the left side of the left circle, you'll write within my control. On the right side, the right circle, outside my control. So we label the circles, and the intersecting section is called the influence part. So you label it as influence. There you go. Now, for the sake of this locus of control activity, we're really focusing on COVID-19. So we're really looking into COVID-19 lockdown. So as you bring this situation of, it's a situation of COVID-19 lockdown, what comes to your mind when you look at what is within my control? I'm in lockdown and it's a very specific context. What is within my control? So maybe wearing mask, sanitization, social distancing is within your control. So you can control where you wear mask, how you use sanitization outside of your home, inside, when you move out, and also practicing social distancing. And informing yourself could very much be within your control. So choosing which media to follow, what news to watch, which radio to listen to. So all of this is all about you being in control and how you can choose to inform yourself. So now being in lockdown, and if you're at home and you're working from home or you're just at home, probably the skill that you can learn during this lockdown is within your control. So maybe you could learn gardening skill, cooking skills, listening skills. So it's just a vast area. So probably the skill that you can learn is within your control. So for me right now, I'm deepening my yoga practice. So these are new skills. It's within my control. Setting boundaries is within your control. So saying no, saying yes, and meaning your no and yes, all of this could be within your control. Your time management. So as you do your own locus of control exercise, it could be for lockdown or for any situation, it's really about you becoming aware of what is within your control. Like, you know, this I can control. I can control social distancing, sanitization, how I will inform myself, which media I will follow, the skill that I can deepen for now, boundaries that I can set, how I will be managing my time, and also probably so it's really vast. It could also be how much time you will give to your house. So it also could be you have control over the house chores for not right now. It could be. It could also be you have more control right now over your schedule, given that probably you're operating and working from home. So these are areas which are within your control. Now, what are the aspects of this lockdown when we look at the situation that is outside of your control? Well, people's behavior, like whether people wear masks, they vaccinate, they sanitize, all of these are outside of your control. Government decision. So what government will decide today and in coming days, weeks and months are outside of your control. Police control on the road. So given you're in lockdown, there is limited mobility. So police control on the road is outside of your control. People's beliefs. So even here, adding people's beliefs are outside of your control. What media publishes and not is outside of your control. What else is outside of your control? Ending the lockdown. Whether people go and vaccinate, the entire population or nation go vaccinate or not, it's definitely outside of your control. Ending the lockdown is outside of your control. What else is outside of your control? So products that will be available or not. So products availability it's going to be outside of your control. Whether we run out of tissue paper, we run out of flour, of some of the basics, all of these are outside of your control. So as you walk yourself through this exercise again, it's about you finding out what is outside of your control. Now, what areas of all of this that you can influence? Well, now that we see what is within your control and what is outside of my control, so this is within my control and outside of my control. So what are the areas that I can influence? I'm going to label a few of them. Now, the areas of influence are the areas where you don't have full control and you don't have like full not control, but you can always influence. So how can you influence things right now? So maybe you can influence by blaming. So I'm going to name all of them and then we choose from there. You can influence by belittling, but you can influence by talking, by communicating. So communication. You can influence by how you use social media. You can influence by reporting. So these are different examples how you can influence. So you can actually influence by blaming people, blaming government, blaming authorities, or belittling people. So you can actually be using social media right now and influencing about posting videos or messages. And you could also actually be reporting cases of suspicious positive cases, even reporting cases of price abuse. So when we look at influence, probably blaming is not something you would want to look into as a mode of influencing. So probably blaming and belittling. Is this going to serve you? Is this going to help you put your energy and your focus in a way that will empower you? So maybe talking and communicating about the measures happening, communicating about why it's important to be cautious, to be present, to be mindful. How you're using social media is also very important. Reporting social cases and also setting boundaries. So boundaries here could be a way of how you will start influencing how you're actually navigating through COVID in your own respective homes and place and even place of work. So what the locus of control does at the end of the day, once you have clarity over what is within my control, what is outside my control, and what the areas of influence that I have like energy, I can influence these areas. What the locus of control does at the end of the day, it literally tells you, now that you know this, we're gonna start focusing on everything that is within my control and everything that I can influence. And then I will say, before even going ahead, you may always take a pause this video and just have a look at this, at your own work, like your own layout. Like becoming present to what does it do for you now? What shifts for you? Like having this clarity, it's written down clear on paper. What does it shift for you? And I've written only a few notes, but it can go really, really more in detail. So what does it shift for you? What clarity do you have now? What awareness do you have now that you've seen this? And probably for many of us, when we're worrying, it could very be well that most of our energy has been focusing here instead of here. So we move back here in that area which is within our control and influence. So what the locus of control does at the end of the day, it's literally telling you, this region, this is where you're going to focus your energy and resources. So you will be focusing your energy and resources in this region. Whatever is within your control, whatever is within your area of influence. And what this talks about, it's really a process. It's less about here it's all about outcome. The more you worry and the more you try to find solution, maybe it could be about ending the lockdown, it could be about police control, it could be about products availability. All of this is actually getting your energy to focus on the outcome while returning to things that are within your area of control. Like this is within your area of control. Setting boundaries, sanitization, whether you're vaccinated or not, social distancing, how you inform yourself, how you manage time, and influencing is very interesting. So how you will talk and communicate about, how you will send messages out that can at the end of the day probably influence decision making at a governmental level, at your company level, at societal level. So all of this, it's really about process oriented. So it's about moving you in a space where you start using your energy intelligently, your resources intelligently. This is within your area of control and this is what you can influence. And from these two sides, use then whatever seems unattainable, unachievable, either they phase out or they start getting influence. So that's it for the locus of control. I'm going to invite you to give it a try and see what comes out for you, whether it really brings you relief and a sense of safety. Because knowing what we are capable of, knowing what is within our control, knowing what we can influence, literally brings us a sense of safety. So give it a try. It might not just be for COVID-19 lockdown. It can be for any event or context or situation you're in, and see what comes up for you. And I would love to hear from you. So feel free to reach out, to write, to give feedback.